Thanks a lot for watching, folks. I did have some technical difficulties starting out this live stream. I really do apologize. So I'm your host, Mike Pugh of the FBC Virtual Channel, and thanks a lot for tuning in. I will do some editing of this video, this live stream video, and try to get it fixed so that way when the viewers watch after the live stream is over, they'll get to see, you know, less dead air and more of my talking in the background and things like that. So what you're staring at, what you're looking at now, is actually the MakeHuman Community 1.2.0 version, the most latest version, and it is no longer in alpha or beta test phases. It's actually the official version, and it's pretty cool. As you can see, you can come up with some really unique looking 3D humans, and these are actually 3D models. So this is not just an image of a human. This is an official 3D model that you can manipulate on other third-party tools in the 3D world and 3D space, such as Blender. You can merge it over to Blender. If y'all folks never heard of Blender, never used Blender, I'm pretty sure you have if you've been watching my YouTube videos covering this subject of MakeHuman and Blender. But pretty much it's really a unique software that you can use to create your 3D humans that you choose to create, and you can customize it in every way, shape, and form that you choose using the MakeHuman Community software. You can also move it over to Blender and do some more customizations of the 3D model. You can change different, features of it. You can play around with the textures. You can manipulate pretty much everything on the 3D model that you choose, but it would be smarter and behoove you to gear as much as you can from the MakeHuman Community software itself. Try to get everything that you can customize on it first and then move it to Blender. Now, some people might want to do like small things and not do everything and then move it to Blender, because sometimes certain elements that's part of the MakeHuman Community software may cause conflicts on Blender. So let me go over to Blender real quick so y'all folks can see what I got over there. But if y'all folks watch some previous videos on it, you should know some of the basics to what I've been able to do and what you can actually start doing if you never used it. There's no error with this one. So that means that that particular character had an issue, and I don't know why. Whatever was going on with that character, something was wrong with it. So here you go. This character works fine. Everything's perfectly working the way I wanted it. And what I was talking about with the texture, if I don't change the settings, you'll see the face has little bumps on it. See, there's small little bumps. You can't really see it that well, but if you put light, a good light source in there, let's go in with the point light. Let's move this up and then move this in view, and this light is much stronger for some reason. So here you can see it's like little weird textures in the face. So I click it. If I want to get rid of it, you go down here to this material icon or material properties icon down here on the far right of the screen. It's more like the like I said, the tools where you can manipulate materials and different properties. We're gonna go where you see here, where you see this pink kind of color. We're gonna go to pour, where it says pour scale, and we're gonna go and turn that to 0. And that's gonna fix those issues, so it's no longer looking weird looking. That's basically part of the new MakeHuman version, where you can get pores on the skin, so the skin texture looks kind of realistic. But I think that looked a little too out of control, so I'd rather not have it in my project for my 3D model of this human. So what we're gonna do is go in and then change the blend modes on the eyebrows and eyelashes. I always do this when I first start, so that way it looks a little bit more real instead of a sketch. And there we go. So that's that. So there goes the character. Now we can go in and play around with it and do whatever we want to do. Now with this character, this particular character doesn't have a rig, so there's not much you can do besides just putting nice lighting and environments around the character or within the scene of what you tried to create for the 3D character. Why would you use Blender and 3D characters in general? Well, 3D characters can be rigged so you can actually use them in like a animated scene. You can actually animate the rig and make the characters' body parts move and things like that. And then you can probably create an animated film. So that's the whole end goal of using 3D modeling software and eventually getting into Blender, which is a 3D modeling software and an animation software suite where you can build out everything that you want from scratch, or you can merge 3D models from outside, like from MakeHuman, and do much more with it if you chose than what you can do on your own if you don't have the skills to do so. So let's go back to MakeHuman and add some bone structure to this character. So a lot of the things that you see on the character aren't something that I created. Pretty much everything that you see on the character I haven't created, besides the body shape, structure, and things like that. So the hat, the sweater, a lot of these outfit elements come from other creators, 3D modelers and 3D artists who created it in the actual MakeHuman community. And then I found this stuff off of this community tab. I went in, hit the update list, and it went in and connected to a server that they have on MakeHuman, and then tied in whatever clothes that I was looking for. So like I go to clothes, I go to update the update list. When you click it, you get to see whatever you can choose. When you first started out with this MakeHuman 1.2.0 version, you have to click synchronize to get the servers to communicate from your computer server to MakeHuman Community server host, wherever their computer, whether it's a cloud computer or whatever computers they have set up for the server to host that data to come through for the community data. So you basically got to click synchronize to get it started. And I did some videos about it a while back, but I just wanted y'all folks to know that if you did not know that and you did not watch my previous videos about it. So say I wanted this Superman t-shirt. It says Superman t-shirt here. I click view details, and then I should be able to get it, but it's not showing it here. But it generally used to show every little visual that the 3D artist or 3D modeler built into it. So let me see if I can get some other stuff to show. Oh, okay. So you can see like a visual before you actually get that particular 3D clothing or whatever asset that you're looking for. Things like that. So I just wanted to show y'all folks that real quick. But let's go back to what I was trying to talk about in terms of the bone structure. In order to get bone structure / a rig, a 3D rig built in, you got to go to pose / animate, and then go to skeleton, and then you got to move the rig preset off of none to something else. So I'm gonna put it at default, and then you'll see there's bones that set up itself inside the character, also known as a rig. This could also be known as an armature, but for now it's not actually a full armature. An armature would be like a more highly advanced rig that is built within or outside of the actual default rig, and it can be used to control the bones outside of the actual rig itself. But you would have to do something special on MakeHuman in order to get those advanced rigs, which is use what is known as the MX what do they call it? Let's see, MX8. What is it? MHX2. I forgot the name of it in the nomenclature, but that's what it is. It's called MakeHuman Exchange, or also known as MHX2. And I used to use it a while back when Blender was in the version of 2.79 before it got to 2.80 and then 2.90. So I stopped using it after it hit around Blender 2.80, and it kind of faded away from my conscious because it wasn't something that I was using every day, because they didn't have the add-on updated for Blender 2.80 and beyond, and I think they do now, but I just chose not to use it after a while. But it does give you a much more advanced rig, and then it becomes really unique in terms of what you can do with it. So let's go over to Blender real quick so you can see the rig in work. So as opposed to what I have now, right now I have no rig in this character. So let's import so you can see the difference. When you import it, the bones show up in highlighted blue. When you click or left click off of the screen or off of the actual bones itself and you click somewhere else, it basically isn't highlighted anymore. And then if you want to get the rig to actually be manipulated, you have to click the rig itself within the body of the 3D model, and then it highlights. It also highlights over here in what is known as the scene collection or outliner, and then you can go in further and manipulate a little bit more. So those are things that you can do. You can also go to the mode selector for object mode, edit mode, and pose mode, and you can switch to pose mode, and that will give you more like the controls of the bones. So you can go in and then play and manipulate the rotation. You can play around and move the bones as you see fit, and then start to try to animate. Animating would be you trying to create what is known as keyframes. So you create these animatable keyframes within a timeline, and as you move certain things and you store the keyframes, the timeline will move, and based on your timing of how you chose to move the actual body parts, everything will be saved and then formatted for you to redisplay the animation. So it basically will create animations. So that's pretty cool if you get into all of that, but I'm not going to do all that right now. I was just playing around with animations in my previous videos. So if y'all folks want to check that stuff out, you can go into previous videos, but I just wanted y'all folks to see the difference between one thing and the other. So here we go, just playing around with the arm, moving the arm around. So let's go and go back to object mode and hide the other character. So there's different ways you can do it, but we're gonna select over here in the outliner, and then we're gonna hit the H key and it should hide it. Actually it did not hide the whole character, it only hid something. I don't know what it hid, but let's see. We'll just do it from here, or maybe I can select, okay, from there. I think that's what it is. Alright, so we're gonna hit this little eye in the outliner, and that will hide the whole character. There we go. So now we can just manipulate this character without having the other character as a underlay or overlay. So there we go. So we can rotate, play around, and move the head around. This is a lot of stuff you can do playing around with 3D models, which is really dope. Once you get them rigged, you can really do some amazing stuff. And you can get the mouth rigged, you can get the face rigged, things like that, and then you can start playing around with like the eyes and, you know, get things moving around. You can do a lot of stuff if you get smart with, you know, learning 3D modeling and animation and stuff like that. So I just wanted y'all folks to see a lot of this, of what I've learned how to do. It just takes some time to build up the knowledge on Blender. Once you build up that knowledge on Blender, then you can start moving further. Now you also can tie in motion capture software, which I talked about in my previous video or previous live stream, where you can actually perform behind a camera or get into a motion capture suit, and it will pretty much store your data of whatever you did with your motion capture, also known as mocap, and then you move the data over to Blender in what is known as a BVH file or a FBX file that's been converted into, like, it takes your data and converts it into FBX or BVH, and then when you move it over to Blender and you import it, you go to File, go to Import FBX, or you import BVH, which is motion capture. You can take that and tie it into your rig, but obviously you're gonna have to have a rig that's compatible with the particular motion capture rig that's exported from whatever 3D software that you chose to export it from. So you can do that kind of stuff, and that's something that I did in the past. You can also, how would you say, they call it retargeting, so you can retarget the rig. So say you had a rig that's different from the rig that was created on the FBX file or BVH file for the other third-party software for 3D modeling / animation. Say you don't have the same rig, well, you can use differing retargeting software, which will allow you to take the differing rig type and then retarget all of the data onto the new rig, and then that data would be able to make it compatible so that the BVH or the FBX file could actually move the body parts in the new rig, and then the new rig will be able to move based on what the previous rig was designed to do, or how would you say, projected to do, if you chose to create some sort of motion capture or whatever. So those are the kind of things that you can do, and it is pretty interesting. You can go very, very far with Blender. I mean, they've created movies, they've created animated films. There's a lot of things that is up to you, like your mind and your creativity. You can take it as far as you want. I personally want to go really, really far with it, but for now I want to play around and use it to create some rap skits where I have like characters rapping, doing rhymes and freestyle and stuff like that, and just having fun in the scene that I created. I have those kind of ideas, and I already played around with some of it, but it wasn't my own 3D models. I was using more like 3D avatar tools where the models were created by someone else, and I pretty much got behind the screen and was able to control the mouth motion and some of the body parts in the scene based on the tooling that I was using. And it's not the same, it's somewhat limited because you don't have the full control of all of the animations and what you can do with the actual environments and things like that, because the third-party tool, they create limits based on the confines that they want to have the tools set at. And also some of the tools have limited content creation built in, you know, certain things they don't want you to do, so you're limited to the confines to what they create within the tool based on the 3D artists and the 3D modelers that offer up their materials for that particular tool. So keep that in mind, like Blender, and they have many other 3D software tools and animation tools that you can go all out and build everything from scratch yourself. Or like I said, you can go for third-party software. You can go into stuff like, let's go in real quick and see what I can do. Let's see, hold on one second. Go in like on a free 3D modeling software. So we'll go free 3D, something like that. And then with free 3D, you can go in and you can find 3D models that are free and merge them in your scene, stuff like that. Like find a desk, find a chair, a table, maybe find a house or find a car or whatever you want to bring into your scenes, and then try to utilize that. It says free 3D models and commercial use 3D models. So the free 3D models is not free for commercial use. The commercial use models are basically the ones that you pay for. So if you're using free 3D models from here, I don't recommend for you to use it in a way where you're making money from it unless you're doing like tutorial videos or how-to videos and things like that on YouTube or whatever, like I do. But in terms of commercial use, you want to pay for the models that are here, and that gives you a commercial use license. So that's how it works pretty much. So if you want to like create something as a film or whatever, and say you wanted an airplane or a spaceship or whatever from here, I highly recommend for y'all folks to go for the paid version to get that commercial use rights, because when you're creating a film, obviously you're trying to create films for commercial purposes to pretty much show to audiences and possibly earn some ad revenue if it's online, or revenue in general if you're just displaying it to an audience in some other format or fashion. So keep that in mind, folks. That is something you have to look for. Look for the licensing when you're going for your differing software from third-party tools. If you're building stuff out 100% from scratch on Blender, then it's up to you to license it out to other people, or to make it a free item if you chose to make it free for other people to use. Because if you put it out there online and make it visible and make it usable for other people, then it's really important to have a licensing tied to it. If you don't go for licensing, other people are going to try to use it. But either way, you should have a copyright as soon as you create it. Like if whatever you create on MakeHuman, it will generally give you a copyright. And also you can use it based on their licensing information. So they have licensing on MakeHuman for you to be able to use certain things. Now you can't use other people's outright stuff like the sweater, the hat, this, that for commercial use straight up, because you would have to go into the licensing details on that actual content. So good example would be this one. If I wanted to get this one, I would have to follow what is known as a CC BY license, which is a Creative Commons license, and from the author here, B.R. Kurt. So whoever B.R. Kurt is, they created this content and they want people to use it based on the CC BY license. So in order to get a CC BY license, you would have to actually go to the Creative Commons and pretty much get it issued out for yourself. So let's go to Creative Commons. So we'll type in on Google Creative Commons. Hold on one second. Creative Commons. And from that point, you can pretty much do different things. You can go to CC search. Let's try that. We'll right click it and see what the CC search does. And pretty much it gives you the ability to look up things for using commercially, or modify or adapt. You can do different things with this. This is the old one, but this is the new one here. You can also type in CC BY, something like that, and that should bring up the CC BY license here, which is a Attribution 2.0 generic license. Then you read the details of the license here. So it says share, copy, and redistribute the material in any medium or format, adapt, remix, transform, and build upon the material for any purpose, even commercially. So that means that that content is for commercial use, issued by the creator here, B.R. Kurt, based on what type of license they gave it. So that person gave it a CC BY license, which grants whoever uses it commercial use to use it, but you pretty much would have to adapt upon it and build upon it. You can't use it exactly just by itself. So it would be smart and behoove you to copy / redistribute. It says to share, copy, redistribute in any medium or format, and then here it says adapt, remix, transform. So try to remix, transform, and adapt upon it. So basically, when you build your character, building your character, making your character look unique, builds upon it and remixes it, also applies some sort of a transformative purpose to it. So that's where you would be able to use it. So that's that right there. Just wanted y'all folks to see. There's different things that you can do, and then there's things that you cannot do based on online rules and things of that nature, because there's copyright laws, there's intellectual intellectual property right laws. There's all kinds of things that's going on behind the scenes that the average person who just started out online has no idea of. And it's important to learn a lot of this stuff as, you know, a content creator. If you're becoming a content creator, which is someone who chooses to offer something up online from your own creative prowess or your creative abilities, you want to be able to follow along and learn the right way to do it. Because if you do it the wrong way, it can come back and bite you in the butt. And on YouTube, you tend to end up running into copyright issues pretty much if you don't do things the right way. And also in other platforms, not just YouTube, but YouTube, pretty much you're earning money, ad revenue money, if you become a YouTube Partner Program member, a YPP program member. And once you're able to earn off of your content, it's really going to put you in a double jeopardy situation and problem where you can lose a lot of potential revenue, or your actual YouTube channel can get shut down. So these are the things that you learn over time, learning about YouTube and stuff like that. But other than that, I'm done with this. I gotta go and make some moves and do some other stuff, but I'm gonna be having some more fun with my 3D content that I choose to create out here on Blender and utilizing MakeHuman and whatever other third-party software. So hopefully y'all folks can come and tune in the future and check it out. That would definitely be awesome. I try my best to teach while I'm having fun, so it's more like a how-to fun session, so to speak. So thanks a lot for showing up. Whoever chose to show up, like I said, I'm going to try to edit out some of these parts of the video that totally turned out bad, but I believe it's just the beginning part of the video. I apologize for the quirks and the jerks in my voice, like I said, but I did not have water while I was starting out this video, and I did make that big major league mistake, but I'm gonna make sure I don't do that in my next live stream sessions and things like that. And let me see if anybody was communicating. If you had any questions, I'll see if I can go in and jump in and try to communicate that now. So we'll go to live stream. I don't see anybody's questioning or anything, so it's all good. No questions. Feel free to drop some comments if y'all folks have any other, thoughts on it or whatever towards the, when the video live stream is actually uploaded in full effect. It's gonna actually upload after I end the stream, and I'm gonna end the stream now. But thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.